So, welcome to Marky Mark's Reloading Parlor, except we're in the workshop. I picked up a sight base for my Winchester 1885. Sight base for my Winchester 1885 with the thought that I could take the Soule sight off of my sharps and just pop it on over here to the Winchester whenever I want to use it, because this is probably $500 worth of sight. It's a long-range Pedersoli with a Hadley cup on it, and there are a couple of issues. It's not a direct fit, so in order to make it interchangeable, we have to do a little machine work, and that's going to involve first I have to widen this a little bit so the sight will fit down in there. Not much, just a little bit. And the other aspect is the screw for the Winchester is a little loose, so I might want to be able to use this for the other rifle. The threads are the same, that's good. However, the hole needs to be enlarged just a little bit. So let's get to work. The first thing I want to do is widen the area where the sight goes in. And as I stated, it's machine work. Well, the only problem with that is I don't have any machine shop type of equipment, so we'll just have to do it the old-fashioned way with hand tools, which I have plenty of. In this case, that's going to be a file. So let's get started. This probably will take some effort, so I'm going to use a fine file. And actually, let me see if I've got a more coarse file. Nothing really too delicate as to what I need. Matter of fact, I may have to use some needle files down in there. Let me break those out. Although the file does seem to be cutting nicely. We don't have to remove too much. So let's do the other side a little bit and do a test fit. We don't want to take off too much. You can always take off more. Put a cloth down so it doesn't scratch the bluing up too awful bad. Hopefully the cloth doesn't get caught in the file. with the bluing on here, initially I can tell if I'm filing evenly. But once the bluing's gone, that little telltale will be gone. I could put some ink or pencil in there to see how my evenness is working out with the filing. Because ideally you want it flat, parallel, and all that good stuff. Let's check and see how we're doing. I'm quite sure I'm going to need to take off more. Oh yeah, not too much more. But that's kind of relative because I'm only taking off, oh my god, so little at a time using this file. But that's okay. However, I'm going to grab my stool to rest my bones upon while I'm doing this. A little test fit. And yep, more. It's kind of hard on the fingers. Okay, we're done filing. The battery died on me. I just went ahead and filed until I got it where I want. So the sight fits into the base nicely. It's a good snug fit. The next thing we have to do is drill out the hole here to accept the pin. I'm used a micrometer to measure it. The existing hole's 3/16. The next drill bit size up, at least that I have, is 13/64. And I mic'd the bit. It's 1.5 thousandths of an inch too big. I'm afraid that might give me some wobble. So I figured, since this is a Pedersoli sight, it's probably metric. So I did find a drill bit that's suitable. It's about 5/10 thousandths of an inch too big, but that's okay. I can live with that. And unfortunately it's a brad point bit, so I'm not sure how well it's going to do, but I've set up the drill press over here so we can go ahead and give it a try. The alternative is using a file, and a round file with this operation would be just absolutely miserable. So hopefully, whether the bit survives or not, hopefully the hole will be good enough. Bear with me while I get the camera going here, set up, etc. So we're all set up in the drill press, and let's see what happens. Alrighty, let's go give it a test fit and see what we got. And we need the pin to go through. Fortunately, the threads are good, and it looks like we have a good snug fit. Excellent. So let's put it together and see what we have. There's a little spring down here that holds the sight in position. And that goes in there. Of course, I did this without the spring on, so it could be a little bit snug, which it is. Even more so. I don't know if I'm going to be able to bend the spring to where I want it, so I'm going to test fit it without the spring, and we'll come back to that. The spring's really needed to hold the sight into position I've still got some snugness in there that I didn't have a moment ago. Perhaps I've got a burr from the drilling process. Yeah, I can see it. Very good. The threads were the same, so I didn't have to screw with that. So all we need to do is get the spring in there so it cooperates. That may need some modification, we'll see. Maybe not. Let me go get a screwdriver and we'll see if I can get it in there. Without a modification, could be a little tough. We shall see. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to relieve some tension on this spring. The sight has a lot more meat on it than the Sharp's offering. So let me take the Soule sight off of the base here and see what the next thing is we have to modify. Maybe I could just get it started. And see if that relieves enough pressure for me to get the sight back on the base. Almost. The spring's rather thick. I think we might be able to do it. Let's see here. I think it's going in. Maybe a little bit stiffer than what I want. We'll find out when we get it together. Yeah, it's very stiff. So I think I will take this over and modify it. So it had a slight bend in it. I tried to peen that out. I don't think I've done probably quite enough, but we'll see. Otherwise I'll have to probably put a little bend in it going the opposite direction. Let's see what happens here. That's not going to be enough. Something else I think I might want to do, if I follow a little bit down there, that might relieve a little bit of the tension too. So let me do that. So there she is. I had to go back and forth and peen the spring a little bit, but she's in there. May have to tweak it, I don't know, but she's ready to go on the rifle at this point. And we also have a front sight for the rifle, so we can go upstairs and back to the reloading parlor and take care of that. Okay, so now we have the sights to put on the Winchester model 1885. This is a newer one made by Morocco. It's a special edition in 4590. So I've got the rifle up here on the vise, and what we're going to do is knock out the sight, and we're going to do that, let me see, probably down here. Holding it in the position I want might be difficult. If I put it in the vise here, it may or may not be able to deal with the impact in that plastic absorbing it. We'll try. And you notice I've got soft faces for the iron vise, and I've got some little punch set here for gunsmithing, and I'm going to use a brass one, which won't mar the finish as bad. So let's see if this will tap out. Slowly but surely. I'm only using a little hammer. I might get frustrated in a minute and go grab something bigger. Okay, I'm frustrated. This isn't going to help the punch too much though. Being careful not to catch the flat on the rifle to mar it. And obviously I need to reset the vise. Yep, staying there. It's a little awkward because it's long. All the weight's in the back. Okay, hopefully that's doable. So your front sight's just dovetailed in, and it's a standard 3/8 dovetail. Of course, it just fell on the floor on a black rug, so I can't see it. However, this is the new one. It's a globe sight. It has inserts. They're not in there at the moment. It has a spirit level and also a little thing for a telltale for wind. So that should go in the same way the other one came out. We're just going to tap it in there. Pretty much takes care of the front. These are the inserts that came with it. I'm going to find a small aperture sight to try out first to see how that works out. Maybe too big. Actually, I've got one with crosshairs here. Well, I found the sight. It's just a bead sight, which for long range is a little fat, and that's what that looks like. So let's say we want to move that. Should slip right on down in there. And the telltale should hold it in. And there we go. Let me see if I can get you a shot of that installed. Matter of fact, I think I'll wait. And you notice there's a wood plug in the barrel. It's called a tompion. They use that for muskets. And that just keeps everything dust free and clean and all like that. So that tompion was custom turned by my good Facebook buddy William Beck in Georgia. He turns pens and does some other woodworking. Made me a couple of these. 1 in 45, which I used for this one. 1 in 50, which I actually used for my Hawken black powder gun. So, the only thing that remains is the rear sight. And we'll have to shift the camera here a little bit so you can see what's going on there. Not enough room on the bench for that. So we're going to replace that sight, which is a Lyman, and I'm not real fond of the Lymans. They're just very hard to adjust. So in this case, this just kind of screws on and off. And I had a screwdriver when I started. It's not here now, of course. Alrighty, got one now. So we should just be able to pop this off at this point. Tight screws. It's a good thing when your sight's seeing this base. I wonder if I needed the other one. Probably. This looks like it's part of the Lyman sight. So we've got some new screws here for the base, supplied with the sharp sight, and I don't think I'm going to need those. I think I can reuse the ones I just took out. Yes, it looks like the screw set might have been for the older model. So it includes the tang screw too, which I might actually have to use. Let me see. I'll try it and see what happens. There it is. Installed on the Winchester 1885. The rear Soule sight, veneer sight, is now interchangeable between this rifle and the Sharps. And of course the matching front sight, which is a globe sight. It has a spirit level and also inserts so you can put different apertures in there, posts or bullseyes. And that's it. That concludes our sight upgrade for the model 1885 Winchester. And don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and give a subscription so you can see other good stuff coming from Marky Mark's Reloading Bench. Thanks for watching.